Hi friends, it's your pal Angie, and I'm here to make a little video for you guys on how to make some very easy and delicious whole wheat bread. I know everybody's been concerned about eating processed foods, overly processed foods. Well, here's something quick and easy that you can prepare at home to help reduce all those nasty chemicals that everybody's talking about. So here we go. Now bear with me, I'm doing my own jerry-rig, MacGyver, whatever video setup here, so I'm trying to get it all in for your benefit, okay? And in the description I will have the recipe written down as well, but right now I will go through the method with you, okay? So here we go. Pardon me. Yeah, this is super duper professional. That's right. I'm ready for my Food Network show. All right, there we go. I have my phone rubber banded to a napkin holder, and it's hanging from a cabinet. Okay. So here we go. We start off with 1 cup of warm water. Make sure your water is just a little bit at room temperature. You might want to nuke it for about 30 seconds. The warm water helps the yeast to activate and bloom. And then to that we're going to sprinkle in 1 tablespoon of yeast. Just sprinkle it in right there, just to cover the surface of the water. There we go. By the way, sorry for all the cartoon background noise, but my daughter is watching a cartoon show on the iPad, so yeah. Anyway, to this wonderful mixture we will add about 1/4 cup of honey. You don't need to add that much. You can probably even get away with about 3 tablespoons, but I like my wheat bread nice and honey flavored. So there we go. And this is some wonderful local honey that comes from Durham. Okay. And then to this mixture, you will add about 1 cup of bread flour, and you can just sprinkle it over the top just like this. That's nice. And after a while you're going to begin to see some beautiful bubbles forming, and that's because your yeast is activating with the honey, because of course the sweetness of the honey is feeding the yeast, so it's doing its aerobic activity. So while you're waiting for that, you might want to let it sit for about, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes, and you'll start to see some bubbles coming up, and while it's doing that you can get your other ingredients together. But for the benefit of this video, we're not going to wait that long. So let me go and get a spatula to mix with. So I'm just going to use one of these red and white offset spatulas. You can get them at any store now. They're very popular and common, but this is something that I got in cooking school, so I still use it even after all these years. So you just want to start incorporating that together, mixing it in. And we are also adding about 4 tablespoons of olive oil. You could even go so far as to put in 1/2 cup of olive oil. It's all up to you. So you just mix it in. I know it's looking kind of oily. That's okay. It'll get nice and doughy in just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to add my second cup of bread flour. And then just stir, stir, stir. Keep stirring. Keep stirring. It's good to use the spatula because you can scrape up all that nice stuff around the sides. There we go. See, now it's starting to look more like pancake batter, which is good. Okay. Now I'm going to add my nutritional yeast because I'm a crazy hippie and I like to put some nutrition into my food. This is totally optional. You don't need to add it in. But I like it because it adds in all those wonderful B vitamins. And it also gives it a nutty flavor and also a little bit of saltiness if you're into that sort of thing. And there we go. Okay, now we're going to begin adding our wheat flour. And I use just this, oh, can you see it? 100% whole wheat flour from everybody's favorite health food store, the WF. So I'm going to start adding it 1 cup at a time. And because I've already added in some flour, now I can put in a little bit of salt, about a teaspoon or slightly less. I use slightly less since I put the yeast in there and that adds a bit of saltiness. Just remember to add your salt later on in the process. You don't want it mixing in with the yeast in the beginning because you will kill your yeast and your bread will not rise and you will be sad. Okay. Now as you can see, it's starting to come together into a dough. You just gotta keep going, keep stirring, keep stirring. You can also use your hands, but I think the spatula works really well. Okay, I just want to make sure that this is still in the frame. There we go. Now we'll add our last cup of wheat flour. It's getting a little harder now. Okay, I'm making a video of how to make bread. That's my husband who just came home, so yeah. You hear people. That's what that is. Okay, now at about this point, you might want to just start using your hands just to kind of pick up all the rest of that flour in there. Sometimes smushing it helps create more surface area for the flour to absorb. You like my little jerry rig here for my camera?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I gotta make some noise. I gotta make the little shape for myself.
Can you wait just a couple minutes, please? Who's in space? this is the exciting part, right? Now notice how I'm kind of sticking my knuckles in there, my fist, while I'm incorporating the flour. I'm also kneading it. It's almost like I'm combining two steps. Okay. Okay, now that we have our nice lump of dough formed, sorry, trying to get this in the frame. Then we're just gonna shape it into a little ball like this. Make it nice and smooth. Then I'm going to spray the inside of the bowl, and then I put a little spray over the dough, and then I'm going to cover this with plastic and let it rise for 1 hour. And after that hour is up, I'm going to take it out, punch it down, knead it a little bit, form it into a loaf, and put it in a loaf pan. Let it rise for another 45 minutes, and then I'm going to bake it in my oven at 375 for about 35 to 40 minutes. And that's it.